Good morning. Today I am going to speak about design thinking. It is a relatively new term. CBSE, that is Central Board of Secondary Education, in its circular dated 7th April 2020, stated that to make the new generation more creative, innovative, and physically fit, and to keep pace with the global developments and requirements at workplace, it's introducing 3 new subjects at class 11. Design thinking is one of that. It further said, while thinking is a skill that all humans possess, the 21st century requirement is of critical thinking and problem solving. Design thinking is a systematic process of thinking that opens up the horizons of creativity and enables even the most conditioned thinkers to bring about new and innovative solutions to the problems at hand. Design thinking is a systematic method of solving problems in a creative and innovative way, be it in our businesses, educational institutions, in our countries, or in our lives. Another name for design thinking is human-centered design. Why do we call it human-centered? Because it starts and ends with humans. Humans are the core of this method, which makes it unique. Now, who started design thinking? IDEO is often credited with inventing the term design thinking and its practice, not only because Tim Brown, chair of IDEO, coined the word and spoke about the value of design thinking, creative leadership, and innovation to business leaders and designers around the world, but shows in his book titled Change by Design that design thinking is firmly based on generating a holistic and empathic understanding of the problems that people face, and that it involves ambiguous or inherently subjective concepts such as emotions, needs, motivations, and drivers of behaviors. In fact, design thinking has deep roots since the beginning of the human existence. It's there, that's my personal belief. But now it has been unfolded by coining the terms. Now it is being taught in few universities like Cornell University, Stanford University, even the Ministry Human Resource Development, SWAYAM, a portal SWAYAM. There is also a course on design thinking are being taught. Now, why is design thinking so important that it has been taken as a subject and it is being taught in the renowned universities? It says that rather than researching a problem for a long time without devising an outcome, it favors creating prototypes. A prototype is what? It is a simple experimental model of a proposed solution used to test or validate ideas and filtered ideas. I reiterate, design thinking favors creating prototypes and then testing to see how effective they are. It solves the problem faster and more efficiently. Some of the world's leading brands such as Apple, Google, Samsung and GE have rapidly adopted the design thinking approach. Now, what is the process or phases of design thinking? In this, there are many variants of the design thinking process in use today, and they have from 3 to 7 phases, stages or modes. For example, Hasso-Plattner Institute of Design at Stanford, which is also known as D School, proposed 5-phase model. However, all variants of design thinking are very similar. All variants of design thinking embody the same principles, which were first described by Nobel Prize winner Herbert Simon in the Sciences of the Artificial in 1969. I will explain the regular innovation process that consists of 4 stages or phases of design thinking. The first step is empathy. I want to say that there is a difference between sympathy and empathy. Some people take it in a same way. Sympathy is to project feelings of pity and sorrow for another person. Through empathy, we put ourselves in other people's shoes and connect with how they might be feeling about their problem, circumstance or situation. It is our ability to see the world through other people's eyes, to see what they see, feel what they feel. It helps us gain a deeper understanding of people's emotional and physical needs. In the empathize stage, one's goal as a designer is to gain an empathic understanding of the people to whom they are designing for and the problem they are trying to solve. One can either do it through interviews of the clients, interviews of the persons who are facing the problems, or through observation. Second stage is analysis. It is like, putting together the information which one has created and gathered during the empathize stage. Now you will analyze observations and synthesize them in order to define the core problem. Now, what is the problem? Is at this stage you will state the problem. It is very important stage, not only that it builds ground for the next stage, but without a well-defined problem statement, it's hard to know what you are aiming for. Your work will lack focus and the final design will suffer. Not only that, in the absence of a clear problem statement, it's extremely difficult to explain to stakeholders and team members exactly what you are trying to achieve. To analyze, we use a technique that is based on Toyota's 5 whys approach. 5 whys, the multi-why or the why technique, in which you keep asking series of whys and then find out what's going on at a root cause level at different levels. For example, why is it that they are going through such a problem? Why is it they are in that state where they need help? Now, during this process, we find conflicts of interest also. Now, what is conflicts of interest? It means like A wants one thing and B wants something else. Next stage of design thinking is solve stage. Solve is a very interesting stage because this is the stage where one's unleash his or her creativity. This is sometimes called the divergent part of thinking. Divergent is what? When you open up and generate lots of solutions, ideas for the problems that you have been analyzing so far. After generating a solution, ideas, instead of judging it, you should always check whether it solves the problems. Has it solved the conflict? Because it's very important to address the conflict of interest also. So this is a very important stage. Okay, so you have framed the problem, addressed conflicts of interest, generated tons of ideas. The next step is deciding which ideas to pursue. That is testing stage. Now, we have to do it by narrowing down and selecting the most feasible ideas, that is potential solutions. At this stage, you have a prototype that is as close to client as possible and needs to carry out full-scale testing. I want to quote here a beautiful connection between the noble truths given by Lord Buddha and the phases of design thinking, which I read in one of the assignment on design thinking. Lord Buddha, when he attained his enlightenment after 49 days of meditation, he went to Sarnath and there he gave his first ever discourse to 5 of his students. Those were 4 noble truths. The first noble truth, as specified by Lord Buddha, was dukha or suffering. He said that there is suffering in the world. Suffering could be because of death, birth, aging, diseases, or your attachment to material possessions, or your not meeting your desires, or losing somebody that you love. The second noble truth that Lord Buddha talked about was samudaya, or finding out the root cause of your suffering. The third truth is that of nirodha, or cessation. Put an end to the suffering. Once you find out the root cause of suffering, now you have to find the ways to end the suffering. How can you reduce it? The fourth noble truth is marga, or the path. You set yourself a path based on what you have done so far. You have to set your path to end the suffering. Now, if you see, you will find a very good, a beautiful connection between the 4 noble truths and the phases of design thinking. As the first phase, you all know is empathize phase. In this, if you just compare it with the first noble truth, that is dukha or suffering, Lord Buddha has acknowledged the suffering in the world. He empathized with that. Second is analyzing, where we try to find out the root cause of the problem and define the problem. The second noble truth is samudaya, where we try to find out the causes of suffering. Third is solving. In solving, we try to create, not try, we really create solutions to the problem. And in the third noble truth also, one has to find out that how can they reduce the suffering, how can they mitigate the sufferings. Now the fourth and the last phase of design thinking is testing. In that we finalize that, like which way we have to go, which idea we have to approve for the solution of the problem. So in this also, like in Buddha's fourth noble teaching, he also said that we have to find out the marga, we have to find out the path to set for ourselves to reduce or to get rid or to mitigate the suffering of the world. At the end, I would like to say that teaching young students design thinking helps them develop a growth mindset. It also stresses imagination, that means generating a lot of ideas. Besides these new programs, board is already offering 17 skill subjects at secondary level and 37 skill subjects at senior secondary level to upgrade the skills and proficiency of the young generation, and also to provide them awareness to explore various career options. So all the students should know, explore them, and wisely choose their subjects as per their interest and abilities. Thank you.